In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a base in Subnautica with one main focus in our heads, which is expandability and progressing without having to move things around or deconstructing and reconstructing things. And the whole premise of the build is going to be expanding the base little by little and starting off small, and then as we unlock more blueprints, we're going to expand the base without having to move things around, like I said. So, first off, we picked the same location I showed in my last video, and if you haven't watched that video and want to know why this is the best location, then go watch that video. If you don't like spoilers, because I show what's around this base and how you get here and whatnot. If you just want to see how to get here, then watch just the journey to getting here and skip the rest. And if you want to know the why I picked this location, then you have to watch the whole video through. Without further ado, and with that all said, let's get on with building. So I'm going to start with the foundation. That's going to cost you 2 titaniums and 2 leads. And lead is pretty abundant in this area because you have the sandstone chunks. And we're going to start off small. You can build a foundation early on if you are in this area. If you're not, then you don't really have to. It's just to strengthen the base and to make things as level as possible, because Subnautica follows a grid building system, and like that's how things are built inside the game. So yeah, I like to build that first, and then we placed 40 compartments against each other, and they are 3 titanium each, and then a hatch which is 1 quartz and 2 titanium. And inside here you want to build your basic stuff to start off. That's the fabricator and the radio. Those are the 2 most important things that you want to build as soon as you start a new base, because they are very important. The fabricator lets you craft things, and the radio lets you progress the story and find the new things around you. Also, you will more than likely need storage. You have 2 storage options. You have the wall locker or the locker. This one has a label on it, and you can build them over here. Like you can build 3 of them, like so. And the advantage of this one is having a label built in and limited storage space compared to its counterpart. The other one is a standing locker, and standing locker offers you a lot more space, but it does not have a way to label it. And what you would need to do if you want to label these, then you would need to go to miscellaneous and put a signpost somewhere to signify what's inside here. And it's a hideous process, so I generally stay away from this, right? Like this sign, and then you can type in titanium, for example. And you have to be very careful where you place them so you can see them. And let's look. So this like offers almost double the storage this one offers. So it's really up to you which one you prefer. I personally prefer these. You can prefer these. It's up to you. We are very early in the game. Like that's our first base. What you still need is power. And probably I would build the power before building everything else. And I'm going to place... well, you can live off 1. But I would generally place like 4 of them. And you are around 90 to 100 meters below water. So the solar panels will perform just fine in this location. 4 of them is fine as well. 75 times 4, that's 300. And 300 power is pretty good for an early game base. You can really just sustain yourself off of 1 or 2 of them. And then you can build more as you need them. So there you have it. This is it. This is like the first early game base. You can make it more beautiful by building windows and whatnot if you want over here. And do not block these entrances. This one, this one, this one, and this one, because we're gonna use them to expand later. And if you actually block them, then you will need to deconstruct whatever is here, like this hatch over here. We're not gonna need to get rid of that for the sake of progress. So, in case you need to expand more than this, let's say you placed as many lockers as you can in the spaces, like over here and on that side as well, and you need more space, but you have not unlocked any new blueprints like the multi-purpose room and the large room. What you want to do is build 2 foundations over here, and you need to build them either way, even if we are going for a big room or a multiple purpose room as well. So what we're going to do is build 2 X compartments on top of a foundation on each side of this build. And then you can use either an eye compartment or a eyeglass compartment to build the next part. And we're going to connect 2 like this. And to this side, not that side, pay attention to that. You can reverse it if you want, like the whole build. It's up to you. And what we're going to do is actually place a couple of multi-purpose rooms over here. So one like so, and one like so. And the multi-purpose rooms are very handy. Let's put a hatch so we can actually go inside it. And I'm gonna put the hatch here for now. You can put it on top if you want, and you wouldn't have to move it later on. So let's just do that. And let's enter the base. And the first one over here, actually, you will need to place a new power source, which is the bioreactor, and you will unlock that in this area we are in, which is the grassy plateaus, and the bioreactor fragments are there. And since we placed our bioreactor fragment here, what I'm going to do is actually place composite plant pot or basic plant pot. I don't know which one you unlock at the same location you unlock the multi-purpose room, but it's one of those. And what I'm going to do is place one right here and one right here. And you know what, let's move in a little bit further, maybe like so and like so. And in these you will plant a lantern tree and a bulbo tree, or 2 lantern trees if you want. And the reason is the bioreactor will need biofuel, which is basically living things like fish or fruits or things from the ocean like grass and whatnot. The lantern fruits or the lantern trees are the best I've found. And you can also build yourself an aquarium if you would like to sustain it off of fish, and you can place the fish in here if you want. I generally don't do that, but it looks good. You can place an aquarium anyway, right? And this is for the first room. For the second room, it's going to act as a plantation area, and we're going to plant a big grow bed right here and a big grow bed right over here. Right, you can also place small ones like one over here and one over here if you want, and one over here and one over here. But this is more than enough. You can plant trees and all the other stuff that you have that grows inside your base and needs fresh air to grow. And we'll also put down a storage just to store things if you'd like. Right, and you can put more storages to store seeds and whatnot that you can harvest. Yeah, so we have our greenhouse, and let's actually build, since it's a greenhouse, we can make it more beautiful by building windows all the way, and also this multi-purpose room glass dome piece, which is, if we go outside, I'm just going to build a hatch over here just to show you. And then it looks something like this. And it's very pretty. Of course, it's gonna look better with trees and whatnot. But yeah, and just for the sake of this video, I'm just demonstrating it. Okay, so that's when you get the multi-purpose room. And also when you get the multi-purpose room, you get the large room. You can replace these 2 multi-purpose rooms with a large room instead, right? It's up to you, really. I personally like the 2 multi-purpose rooms, just in case I want to replace all this area with one large room. And you can actually do that like this if you delete all these, if you feel like it, but you don't really need to. If you do that, then you will just put a large room here instead. And the only part you would need to construct is these T and X compartments over here, and whatever is inside them. And on the other side here, more than likely, the next upgrade is going to be your moon pool. And the moon pool will act like a staging area for us. So what I generally do, before that, let's actually build a multi-purpose room right next to it, like so, which is going to connect to that compartment and the moon pool itself. And more than likely, you're going to enter and exit the base through the moon pool. You will probably no longer use hatches at this point. And what I'm going to do is actually build the fabricator over here, and the radio over here. And when you unlock the power cell charger and the battery charger, like you can get yourself a couple of battery chargers over here, a couple of battery cell or power cell chargers over here if you want. Generally speaking, you don't really need to use this one unless you have a Cyclops, and because it needs to charge, and you'll need 3 of those actually, so you're gonna place like 3 like this, but be careful, those consume a lot of power, so if you're doing something this big, then you will need more power sources, and that means building yourself more bioreactors or other sources of power, right? And the reason we built that multi-purpose room over there is because this room is going to be our storage area. And what you can do to make your base stronger at this point is reinforce this storage room, these 3 parts right here, right? And then these 2 parts right here. And do not reinforce this one right here, which is like parallel or like right in front of that door, because you can expand in that direction. And what we're going to do, you have 2 options. You either again have the wall mounted lockers, and you can place 4 of them on each wall. And some people min-max, I think you can place 5, but I'm not bothered. I'm not that bothered. And what you can do is actually build lockers like so, like side by side against each other, and then you can place also 4 of these. And if you're just min-max to the maximum, I think you can place 6, but I'm not very sure. So yeah, this is like the modes of storage that you have, right? It looks cool. You can be creative with that if you want, and then you label your stuff and know which is which. And also inside here, you're gonna place the modification station as well as a locker for your tools. And then we're going to place in interior pieces, we have the vehicle upgrade console. Once you unlock that, you're going to place it over here. And yeah, this is going to act as a command center. And what I'm going to do is actually connect the scanner room directly to it. And the scanner room is going to let you scan stuff and get things going. And a big recommendation from me here is, well, I'll put a window so it doesn't feel cramped. And a big recommendation from me is to build 4 range upgrades for the scanner room. 4 of them you're gonna need magnetite, which is pretty easy to get from here if you watched my last video. And you're gonna need 4 magnetite and 4 copper to do that, and that will increase your scanning range from 300 to 500. So each of these 4 will give you an extra 50. And look at the area that we unlocked here with the scanner room, and look how it's gonna expand in a second. You can see like a lot more now, like almost double, right? And that's gonna help you scan for more resources and whatnot over here, and you can find a lot of stuff from here as well. This base will, well, this thing over here will sustain you for a very long time. If you decide to replace these with a big room, then that's okay, and it kind of looks cool, right? But I'm gonna keep it like this just to keep the variation. And what I'm going to do next is actually build myself a large room over here. Well, not over here, like so. You could possibly put like foundations. So before you build that, what you can do is build foundations for it, and you're gonna need 6 of them, right? Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, not like that. 5, 6. And just for good measure, I'm going to put 2 extra over here, so it sits directly on top, and you can place the room over here. And you can also, if you want, place 1 room over here, like so, right? And then another room over on the other side connected to that one if you want. I think you do not need more than this in the whole game. So to beat the game, you'll not need a bigger base. Like, this is a very huge base, to be honest. You can place everything inside this. You can put a hatch down over here, right? Okay, and the last thing that I want to place is actually an observatory. And I'm going to place the observatory on that side over there, right next to this stuff right here. And I'm going to build a glass compartment, and that's the last big piece. Basically, you can also place a hatch down here for easy entrance to the base. And also, what you will need lastly in the game is an exterior grow bed, and you'll need like 3 or 4 of them. You can build them on top of things if you want. Like, you can still build them on top of the moon pool. I generally place them on top of this guy over here, because that's cool. And if you don't want to do that, and you can do one thing instead and actually make this see-through, and then you're going to place the exterior grow beds, and like I said, you only need like 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3, and that's probably going to be as much as you need, and you have all this space to build more of these. And what we're going to use this room for, and let's actually section it a little bit, and we're going to use large room partitions. So we're going to partition this room, or this large room, and this is going to be a purely aesthetic area, and I'm going to have a double quilted bed, and then a command chair and a desk. So we're gonna put the desk right here, and then we're gonna put the command chair right over here, and then we're going to place a door, this guy right here, and we're going to place it here. And you can decorate this room however you want. And in this section, if you would like to hatch the eggs that you have this unlock, which is the alien containment facility. You can use that to actually hatch eggs and store fish as well, which is a pretty looking thing that you can use. And as well as you can use this side for a nuclear reactor or a bioreactor if you'd like more sources of power. And what I like to do with my bioreactor room is placing a ladder down. If I need more power, well, we need to build on top of this to show you what I mean. And what I like to do is, if I need more power, is I actually build another room and another room and another room. You get the idea. But as long or as high as I need, and then I would place a ladder inside, like so, and then I would place another reactor over here, right? And then I'll place a ladder over there, and then I will place another reactor over here, and this is plenty of power. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you one more thing, which is the thermal power. Oh, by the way, the water filtration machine, just don't build it. You don't need it. And so the rest of the stuff is purely aesthetic in my opinion, and you don't really need it. But if you ever unlock the thermal plant, so if this is the base, you look over there and you can go to that direction, you will find thermal vents over there. But this is a pretty dangerous area, so be wary of the dangers. And it's kind of far, so if you want to move the stuff from here to there, like the power from here to there, it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle. So you have these vents over there, right, that you can use to produce thermal power. Each one of the thermal plants will produce... Yeah, you can see it's dangerous over here. This is kind of good, right? And each one of those thermals will give you 250 power, and then you will need to connect them with power transmitters. Let's actually do that so you see how it works. And you will put this one right here, and then you would connect this guy. Well, I generally put one right next to it, and so you can see this immediately, and you can see this line, and you need to keep moving until this line is no longer, like the blue line is no longer there, and then you have to move back so it connects back, and then you can build it. Well, I don't think it can reach that much. So you can see this is like the where it connects and doesn't connect. So we're gonna place one down here, and then we're gonna move on. And you only need to connect one of them, and like the one that's close by is going to connect all the rest of them, so don't worry that much. Like you don't have to make this journey except for once. And thermal power is expensive to build, but it's a huge rest for you. Like once you have thermal power, you no longer need to build uh, any other form of power, and you don't need to sustain it. It just works because it works off of thermal vents. Now you can see the kind of journey we have to make to actually get there, right? And yeah, the power line will actually move through terrain, so don't worry too much, as long as you can see this blue line. So, well, it's still showing right here. So, and that we're going to connect to the base. I think if we place it here, it's going to connect, to be honest. So, oh, just short. Yeah, does that connect? Yes, it connects. So you can see we have this power transmission going on all the way from the vents to here. And it's not the greatest source of power. It's not going to give you enough with just one. You'll need more than one thermal plant. And the bioreactor just proved that it's much better in my opinion. So I would say go with that. And this is the base. So let's go over what we did so far. We started off with a few small compartments over here, and then we got the multi-purpose room and a few other things, and we expanded this way and that way and that way, and then we built the moon pool, right? And then the large room. The large room and the multi-purpose room you unlock together, and you can replace these with a large room, and you can build large rooms on top of each other as well if you want, right? But yeah, so there you have it. A base that looks fancy, has a lot of versatility, and has a lot of use, and it progresses and follows up with the game progression, the natural game progression that you have. You can build another moon pool if you want right next to that one, and that's it. I hope you found this helpful. This has been Host. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.